Hello and welcome to Arsenal Analysed. I'm JC. I hope you're doing well. Today I bring you a match preview on the channel, and not just any match preview. It's the first North London derby of the season. What colour will it be come the final whistle on Saturday, bringing you everything that you need to know before kickoff. So go ahead and smash that like button if you are looking forward to today's video. Subscribe if you're new around here, and make sure you've got that notification bell button on, because I'll be breaking everything down after the game and you won't want to miss it. But let's waste no more time at all and jump into the very first piece of information for today's video. Kicking off with recent form, and there is no shortage of goals for either of these two sides. And I've got some good stats to show you with regards to that in just a moment. Both teams recording just the one loss in their last five, and there are goals for both of their opponents as well. So is this going to be a high scoring game or not? Sometimes form doesn't always have its part to play in these types of fixtures because it is such a huge occasion. Form can go out of the window. We've also got some hailing graduates that could take part and hopefully take the game by the scruff of the neck. Spurs, on the other hand, have a couple of world-class players in their midst as well. This is literally lining up to be such a fantastic way to open up the Premier League weekend of fixtures. As an Arsenal fan, it's either going to make or break my weekend. But recent form here, looking good for both sides. Plenty of goals, as I've just said. But what does the history look like between these two clubs? Most recently, and unfortunately at the hands of Tottenham at the back end of last season, Arsenal did lose 3-0 away from home. Essentially, Spurs ending Arsenal's chances of any European football in the Champions League for this particular season. So that sour taste will still be left in the mouths of some Arsenal players, hoping to get their own back in this first North London derby of the season. Prior to this, Arsenal did win 3-1 earlier in that season with an emphatic, electric win at the Emirates. And prior to this, Arsenal winning in the season prior 2-1. And as we can see here, home form for both clubs is very much back and forth. It seems as though whoever plays at home, at least recently, seems to win. Hopefully that does go in Arsenal's favour this weekend, with the game kicking off at 12:30 at the Emirates. The fixture itself has been played a total of 205 times across various competitions in domestic leagues and cups. 54 have ended in a draw, and lovely to see Arsenal do trump Spurs in this department with 84 wins compared to their 67. But some good fun facts to take into this game before kickoff. Arsenal rank 4th in the Premier League for goals scored per game. That's 2.4. And we currently sit number 1 in the league for away form this season, and ranked 3rd for big chances created, 14 in total. Now, Spurs, on the other hand, are 2nd with goals scored per game, 2.6. So going back to my earlier point, this could be a high-scoring game, even though both defensively have done very well this season. And their home form ranked 1st. They haven't won at the Emirates, however, in the Premier League since 2010. A good omen, potentially. We'll have to wait and see. Now, in the middle of your screens, you can see a table here highlighting when Arsenal have scored throughout 90 minutes compared to when Spurs have conceded, and then vice versa in the table just below that. Some good reading there for us Arsenal fans. We seem to score a lot of goals between the 15th and the 30th minute, but on the other hand, Tottenham don't seem to concede too many during that same period. And you could say the same just after half-time for Arsenal as well. Between the 45th and 60th, Arsenal do seem to come out all guns blazing at the start of the second half. Very, very good to see compared to last year. How does this compare to Spurs, who have managed to score a total of 18 goals, just the one more than Arsenal this Premier League season, both of which having conceded the same amount? What does make for good reading, though, is Arsenal are yet to concede inside the first 30 minutes of any Premier League game, but Spurs tend to like to score goals late. Beyond the 60th minute, they've scored more than half their Premier League goals this season, 10 in total. Arsenal having conceded 4, the most in any period between the 60th and 75th minute. Now, this could come down to the grueling pre-season that Conte gave his Spurs players. He does like to make sure his teams are super, super fit, far more superior than their opposition, killing them off towards the end of games when teams tend to tire. Now, will this be a similar story in the North London derby? We'll have to wait and see. But if you veer your eyes towards the bottom of the screen, you can see here goal difference very similar for both clubs, having played the same amount of games, only a point between them. 2 places, however, with Arsenal sat top of the Premier League, Spurs down in 3rd. Now, this is an opportunity for Spurs to leapfrog Arsenal by a 2-point gap, or for Arsenal to further that gap by 4 points, unless it ends a draw, of course, which I'm hoping it doesn't. With regards to team news, though, Arsenal seem to have a list as long as my arm with potential names unavailable for this fixture. Kieran Tierney picking up a head injury whilst away on international duty. However, it is said that he should be available for this fixture. Likewise was Thomas Partey, who withdrew from international duty with a knee injury. Again, he should be available. Likewise with Odegaard and Zinchenko. 2 players that are big question marks, though. Emile Smith Rowe with a continued groin injury and Elneny out long term. I don't expect either of them to feature, not even in the matchday squad. And Reiss Nelson has been pictured in training this week and should be available to make the bench at the very least. Spurs, on the other hand, have just the 3 names: Ben Davies, Hugo Lloris and Lucas Moura, all of which are said to be assessed ahead of the Arsenal fixture and should be available, even though, according to the Premier League injury list, they are on the physio table. They should make the squads and even potentially start. You would think that of at least Hugo Lloris if the other 2 do make the matchday squad. But who is my danger man for this upcoming North London derby, I hear you ask? I'm going to go with Bukayo Saka, who, yes, in all fairness, has had a very slow start to the season. But for a player that we have relied on for big portions of last season and even the season before that, for him to be criticised at not putting in the performances that we're used to seeing, and he has contributed to 5 goals and assists in 7 appearances, just goes to show how far he has come. And he was absolutely electric coming off the bench for England the other night against Germany. And I do feel as though this confidence has grown over the last few weeks. And what a better time to really push on in the season than the North London derby at the Emirates, just after being announced Player of the Year for England as well. So many positives going in his direction, with 86 passing completion this season. That's around 29 passes, 2.1 key passes per game in those 7, completing 1.7 dribbles. That's 48% success rate, 2.4 shots per game. That's 6% conversion, something that I fully expect to change. 1.1 crosses, that's 31% success, and 4.9 duels per 90 minutes. That's 46%. So some very good numbers. And I do half expect to see this change after the final whistle has blown. Let me know down in the comments, who is your danger man? So many to pick from. Is it Martinelli? Is it Jesus? Is it someone else? Let me know down below. But heading into some predictions for this game, should everyone be fit that has said to be fit by reports you can find online? Ramsdale in goal, the ever-present back 2 of Saliba and Gabriel. Ben White at right back. I do expect Tomiyasu to potentially come on late in the game, as he tends to do. Zinchenko, who missed the Brentford game, didn't go away on international duty, rested up ahead of what is such an important fixture. I do expect him to play and be utilised in that system that he is very good as an inverted fullback. Xhaka, who's been absolutely phenomenal this season, not only this season, but over the last month especially, partnered with Thomas Partey. Odegaard, who did pick up a knock prior to the international break and missed the Brentford game. I expect him to come in after a long rest. Our ever-present, electric, threatening winners, Saka and Martinelli, followed by a top player in Gabriel Jesus, spearheading the attack. Do you agree with this lineup? Do you see it another way? Let me know down in the comments below. And that brings me on to my score prediction. I don't think this is going to be an easy game. It's going to be a tough watch. I'd be very surprised if someone did run away with this fixture like Arsenal did in the home leg last season, or Spurs did in their home leg. I'm thinking 2-1 to the Arsenal. We deserve a win. We deserve to get our own back. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. As mentioned already, if you have enjoyed today's video, go ahead and smash that like button. Subscribe if you're new around here and get that notification bell button on, because tactical analysis will be coming after the game on Saturday. Come on, you Gunners. Stay safe and take care.